Clutching is one of the hardest yet most rewarding aspects of CSGO and most competitive games.
He's going for the full defuse, ice cold from evidence. Oh no! He takes him down anyway, the Undertaker! Unbelievable!
The feeling of clutching a 1v3 in a do or die round, nothing beats it. Being good at clutching is what sets good players and great players apart, and in this video I will give you a roadmap to become a better clutcher. I will first give you some ground rules, and then we will look at some amazing clutches to see what we can learn from them. Number 1, and the most obvious one to remember, but it's harder in practice, is to play smart. Play every clutch smart. Don't just go into it thinking, we'll see what happens, or if I die it doesn't matter. Go into it with the mindset of winning it. The best you can do here is to make a quick plan in your head. What to do, where are we planting, what are we smoking, what are we using our flashes on. And depending on your understanding, try to guess where the enemy is coming from as well. This will help you approach the clutch and understanding how to make a good plan for how to play out the clutch. Check your corners. Worst way to lose is to not look left and die because somebody was in the corner. Always check corners and angles no matter what. This comes down to the path you take to allow yourself to check all the corners without exposing you to too many angles and other corners. These paths are important to learn so they will be automatic next time you're in a high pressure situation like a clutch. 1v1 rather than 1v2, or to be more specific, isolate the players. One of the most important pieces of clutching is to make sure the duels you are taking is a 1v1 and you're not swinging into 2 guys. There are many ways of doing this, like using utility to cut off players, where your position on the map can maybe allow you to get 1v1s instead of 1v2s. The other one is how you peek. This can be jiggling, so you can take a 1v1 even though both comes from the same position, or just gather information on how you're gonna isolate the fights. Stay calm when you clutch, since if you get too excited when you get the first 2 kills out of the 1v3, you will lose the next duel, due to that you let excitement take over. Only show emotions after the clutch. Only use utility when needed. It's so bad to lose your clutches when holding a nade out, since they peek you and they got the timing on you. A situation where you want to use utility in a clutch is to cut off angles so you can peek in a different position, or using a smoke to distract the enemy team, for instance like faking where you're going. Don't get stuck, push for a fight. Try not to get stuck in a corner. If you feel like the enemy will start pushing you and you feel stuck, try to get out of it. How? There are some ways like pushing and forcing a fight, or clutching from a position where you're allowed to fall back. Or in the worst case, you have to use a smoke or a flash to get out of a corner and don't be too stuck. The best thing you can do to avoid this is to pick a place and position where you're allowed to fall back no matter what will happen. So car on B site on Mirage might not be the best, but bench on the other hand, that could be better on backside. Learn from your mistakes next time you fail a clutch. Every clutch fails because you did one big misplay. Learn how to spot this misplay so you won't do it next time. And here's the thing, every clutch is won as well since the other team did the one big mistake. What these mistakes could be is that somebody's peeking too early or pushing alone, or that you decided to pull out a flash or a nade during the clutch. Another one of these big mistakes is about communication. Somebody calls the wrong positions and die from a different one. Learn from that and you will be better next time. In these videos, I always give you guys some demos to watch. I want to rather here focus on some clutches, one from myself, one from Simple and one from Coursera. And in these ones, I want to look at the one big mistakes that allow the players to win the fight. And we can kind of analyze the clutches as well, seeing what they did right, what the enemy did wrong, of course the big mistake and more. So the first clutch we're looking at is my own clutch. So some context to this one, it's a matchmaking game and it's a 5v2. We already know that there's one short and one backside, but we don't really know where the other 3 are. So what I'm doing here when I'm going bench is I'm using this smoke and the bench trying to isolate some fights, and we'll see this now. I isolate this fight for me. My teammate dies as well for the guy backside here. This allows me to then use the bench and the corners and the smokes to kind of take an isolated fight towards backside. Here I get very lucky, they line up. I get 2. I see this guy, I just have to flick him. And I hit a good shot on him. I have 1 bullet left and there's 1 left. In my head I'm thinking he's behind the smoke because he haven't went for the trade. And by some luck, I turn around and one-taps him. The big mistake for the enemy here was just not trading each other fast enough. They kept letting me get away for 1-for-1 kills and isolating the fights. It's as easy as that. He's in a 1v3 and he's playing from the spot we call Coursera, which is this part of the box. This is default plant, and it's a very good spot to clutch from in a 1v3 when all are coming from the same position. Since you're holding the left side here because you don't care about the guy walking right, because you have to check bench before he checks you and you will get a kill on him, and Coursera just plays this perfectly. Right now he hears this, he hears what's happening here, so he knows one's coming left. When you're such a good player, you can understand if one is left, one's gonna come there, so you're gonna know where 2 of them are. When he now hears this other guy run Rops, He now understands that 2 are here and probably 1 door holding. And this is the big mistake of Mouse. It's running too much. They still have some time left. They have to take this slower. That is the big mistake in this clutch. It's that these 2 players are running way too much and allowing Colt to do this. Fall back. And just look at this beauty. Gets 1 more. He knows where the last is. You see this? When he now eliminates that he cannot be on short, he instantly looks backside because you know he have to come from here. And it's a free kill and he wins the 1v3. For the last one, it's perfecto and simple in the 4v2 or more simple in the 1v4. After Flamey goes down, perfecto and simple have to get a trade. Here they try to get a trade each and perfecto fails. Simple now knows that they have to get a kill. He gets this kill and look now. He kills Naf and they already know where Stewie and Twist is. So right now he's already thinking where are they gonna come peek me from. Gets the first one. He goes a little bit to the left to isolate this fight of the first guy swinging. And you might wonder where's the mistake? It's right here. After Twist die, Elige is way too late getting the trade. As you can see, Stewie is just too late to trade and Simple have to get to the wall to isolate the Elige fight. And that's a big mistake Team Liquid does. They allow Simple to isolate this fight to Elige and Stewie can't trade and Elige is too stressed because he's thinking, oh, I didn't trade Twist. And you can see the no-scope hits. And now Stewie is way too late. He already know that Stewie was short and he haven't heard anyone drop. So that's why he instantly start looking up on sight. For the beautiful 1v4 clutch by Simple. I hope this will make you more confident when clutching. And if you need some coaching to really learn this, check out my Discord in the description below where I offer free coaching. Thanks for watching.